Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Preschool All Stars podcast. I'm Bethany Johnson, and my guest today is Alethea Koury. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
Fantastic. Thanks for talking with me. I can't wait to hear what you got going on. First, let's get a little backstory of who you are and what were you doing before you decided to start your preschool?
Oh, well, I was working many jobs. Isn't that somebody else's story too?
That's my story.
Working many jobs. I've always had like 3 jobs
Yeah,
going at the same time, and it's exhausting.
it is. It is. Even when I got a full-time career, I still piled more jobs on top of that. It's the hustle mindset.
Yes, always got to be hustling.
Yep.
So then I started cleaning Airbnbs, and that was a little bit fewer hours, but still multiple jobs, date night babysitting. Always have kids in my life. There's always, babysitting, part-time nanny while I'm cleaning Airbnb, always with kids and always multiple jobs.
Yeah.
Then I think it was 2019, I think I ordered the book. I saw the Facebook ad and I ordered the book. And I only read the first 2 chapters. Sorry.
Okay.
I only read the first 2 chapters because I was always working.
Yeah.
So I didn't finish the book.
What did you think at the time? Were you like, oh, that's a nice dream for someone else?
Kind of. I was like, oh, I could do this. No, I don't have time to do this. I could do it. No, I don't have time to do this.
Yeah.
It was kind of that. Like, I really want to read this book because I would really love to do this, but I don't have time for do this.
Yeah.
But I was that kid who had like a 10-inch stack of old worksheets that I used to make my brother do because I always played teacher because that's what I wanted to be since I was like 4 years old, was a teacher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I was that kid. And then I started actually going to school to get my teaching degree. And then some very major life circumstances happened that I had to quit school.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up going back, but I went back for business. I actually have my degree in business instead. Okay. But still the kid thing, like no matter what I do, I keep coming back to kids, all the time, because that's just where my heart is.
Mm-hmm.
It's, whether it's I do nursery at church still. So I still have kids 6 days a week because I do nursery at church.
Yeah.
And I have my daycare. So, got out of the cleaning, opened a daycare.
Okay.
And that's been going great and that's thriving, but still I quit cleaning the Airbnbs, but I did laundry for the Airbnbs while I did the daycare. So still multiple jobs.
And is it out of necessity or is it just out of habit? Because I struggle with that. Like I've gotten to the point where like I didn't need to be doing that many jobs because I wasn't living paycheck to paycheck, but it was just out of habit that I would just do it. And my husband was like, stop doing this to yourself.
Yeah, that was, well, it started out of necessity. I really did need to do multiple jobs for a while.
Yeah.
And then once I kind of got over that because my daycare was thriving and I made enough money, then it was out of habit. Like,
yeah,
I can't just work one job. Who does that?
Exactly. Exactly. I know exactly the feeling. Like, well, but what do I do when I'm not working? And he's like, relax. And it's like, but then who's doing work?
Like?
Yeah. Then you almost get to the point where you feel lazy if you relax. And like, I still struggle with that. I struggle with it all the time. Every time I go to relax, I'm like, oh, but I don't want anyone to see me relaxing, like it's a weird thing you put on yourself.
It totally is. And I do still have a disabled friend that I clean her house on Saturdays. So technically I still have another job on Saturday.
You're still filling all of your time with work.
Pretty much. I do have Saturday mornings and Sunday afternoons that are my time.
Okay. All right. Then just work on expanding those times.
Yeah. Well, and I do have I have like 4 evenings a week. And then I kind of, because I have always worked so much until I drop into bed, it is a little bit different. Like, what do I do now? What do I do in the evening? Like, what do people do in the evenings?
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, totally. Okay. So you were running a daycare and what made you find joy? How'd you find joy?
Most of my kids bring me a lot of joy. Like when they walk in the door, they just make my heart sing. And that's kind of why I'm transitioning because two of my favorite babies were going to leave me to go to preschool.
Oh,
And I said, that is
okay.
not happening.
Okay.
What do I need to do to keep these babies?
Yeah.
Nope, you are not taking my babies.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
and then I pulled out the book and started reading the
Okay.
book.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I'm like, oh, preschool. I have a book about that. And then the ads came up on Facebook again. And so then I joined the 7-day challenge.
Okay.
And then I joined the All Stars and got the
Mhm.
preschool in a box and got the hub.
Yeah. All in.
All of the things. Yes, all in. So, but along the way, and this may not be like traditional way people do it, because I hear what other people are saying. And I'm like, oh, I took a whole different path, I think.
Everyone has their own path. Everyone has their own. Can't
Right.
compare them. We all get there in different ways.
Yeah. I kind of included my parents, the important ones, should I say? Because some of them I don't kind of care if they transition out. Like,
Okay.
I'm fond of them. You know what I mean? But there are some that make your heart sing when they walk in the door, you
Yeah.
know?
Totally. Mhm.
And so those parents, I'm like, okay, so if I opened my own preschool, would you leave your kids with me? And they said, absolutely, because I have one, and I'm not bragging, but I have a 2-year-old who knows half of the alphabet. She can count to 8. She knows all of her shapes and her colors, and she's only 2 and just
Yeah.
turned 2. And
Wow.
her mom said, I would prefer to leave her with you. I don't want to move her anywhere else. But she's like a sponge and you're filling that. So if you would like to keep filling that, that would make me so happy.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like all the pieces kind of fit together. And I said, okay, well, this is kind of how I think it might look. How does that sound to you? So I've included them in my journey with me,
Okay. No, that's great.
so that's kind of non-traditional, but that's my journey.
Yeah, totally. So have you like made the transition yet from daycare to preschool fully, or are you in that process?
No, it's our first day of actual school is going to be August 8th.
Okay.
Because I had already made commitments to some of the parents that I have some kids who are leaving like in June anyway, because like they're moving when school ends or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
But I have some kids who are naturally just leaving. And then I also have older siblings of some of my little ones that I
Okay.
had already made a commitment to, that I would keep those
For the
older
summer.
siblings for the summer. And I
Okay.
didn't want to go back on my word on all of that stuff. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
still need more time to get all of my duckies lined up.
Totally.
And so it kind of works out. Like I still have my money coming in
Yeah.
and I'm fulfilling all my commitments while I transition. So it's kind of working out quite nicely,
Yeah,
actually.
absolutely. You don't always have to do stuff in 7 days. I mean, I planned my preschool for a full year while I was working in the school district, and then transitioned seamlessly from. So you don't always have to do it, you do it on your timeline and as it works out. And it sounds like that's the perfect timeline for you. You still have money coming in, and then transition with the people who are with you. And then are you working on, do you have preschoolers signed up, or have you started marketing for when you turn into the
I
preschool?
actually didn't do the marketing because
Okay.
I will be full with the kids that I have.
Perfect.
And the kids I had a couple who were on the fence. And then once I got my preschool in a box, I sent them a couple of screenshots of like what the curriculum looked like.
Mm-hmm.
And then they said, okay, we're not going to send them over here. We're going to leave them with you.
Nice.
Because they were debating, like they wanted to leave them here, but they also wanted to make sure that certain things were going to be covered.
Yeah.
And so once I got that and I showed it to them, they committed. And so with all of my full-timers and my part-timers, I will have 6 kids every day.
Yay.
So I kind of like, I talked to them and I was like, hey, I'm like, my schedule looks like 8 kids on this day, but only 5 on this day. Can I move your kid over here? And so now I've got it where I'll have 6 kids every day.
Perfect. And what are the hours?
It is going to be all day though, because all of my kids need all day care. So
Okay.
it's going to be, school time will be 8:30 to probably about 3:30. But in there is also a nap because I'm going to have 2 to 4-year-olds. So my 2 and 3-year-olds still nap and my 4-year-olds hang with me.
Okay.
So part of that is nap time and stuff. So yeah, but it's going to be all day. And that works for all my parents. And I
Nice.
will not be doing any more drop-ins. And I,
Yeah.
like that's the thing is after July, no, don't call me for drop-ins. I can't do that anymore because it's going to, and they're like, nope, we totally get it. We respect what you're doing. Cool.
Yeah. So how are things going to be different and easier for you once you make that transition? Other than the drop-ins, that's huge because then that's, I mean, I know that's like a whole nother thing in itself. What other ways will this change what you got going on and change your stress level, hopefully, and your work-life balance?
My hours will not change a whole lot, unfortunately, but I typically only have like 2 to 3 days a month that are 12 hours. I do not have that very often. So my hours will probably not really change a whole lot because they still have to drop their kids off before school officially starts. And we have breakfast and we play before, because I already do circle time with them. So I'm trying to kind of train them for it's learning time. It's not a free for all time. I'm trying to transition them so that when school starts, they're already ready for, oh, this is story time. This is calendar time, So we've been working on that. So I'm hoping that that's my biggest stress because I have one who's still like the wild free for all, which is totally cool because he's new, he's young, he's not ready yet. And that's okay. By August, he'll be ready. Right now, he's just not. And that's cool. We're still a daycare. So it's all right. And we'll just kind of work on him a little bit at a time. And he's getting it. Like in the past 2 weeks, he's already been, oh, now we have to sit down and do the ABCs. Yes, we do. No toys, right, Nana? Right. Like he's getting it. So I'm hoping that by August, it's going to just be smoother, and then we will add in more official curriculum and that kind of thing. So I don't know how much it's going to reduce my stress, but I'm really hoping because I still have the same kids and I still have, well, I'm losing 3, which is okay because it's going to balance out. So I'm not going to have overloaded days. I'm not going to have drop-ins and surprises. My schedule is going to look like my schedule. When I go to bed at night, when I get up in the morning, it's going to be the same schedule. So that will be less stress for me.
Yeah. Have you thought about once these kids that you're really close with age out, would you go to a half day, 2 half-day schedule type
That's
thing?
my plan. Yeah, that's like in 2 years. In 2 years, I want to go to the 2 classes per day, 3 hours per day in break time for me. And that's what I want to do. So that's my 2-year goal. I don't have a 5-year goal. That's my 2-year goal.
Okay. Hey, little by little.
Yeah. So I already have that kind of in my mind. Eventually I would like to add in kindergarten. So maybe by the end of that 2 years, I will have added in kindergarten and maybe my half days will have to be 3 years out. You know what I mean? So I have a plan A and a plan B. We'll see how it works.
Yeah. So if you added in kindergarten, would you get a teacher? Would you get a different teacher? Would you use it in a different space in the house? Where is your space? Do you have a dedicated room that you're in?
I do have a dedicated room. I have a tri-level. And so what would be the downstairs, it's not really a basement, but because it's a tri-level, it's the lowest level, which is like on ground level. That whole thing is the school room. But then we do a lot of stuff at my dining room table too. I am trying to enclose my back porch to make that like an arts and crafts center, but that hasn't happened yet. So that's kind of where we're at now is the dining room and the daycare room are dedicated to the school.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll see how that works. I don't know if I would have a teacher or not, only because I've already homeschooled for 12 years. And so I'm used to teaching that age group. So if I stay at this point in time, I don't have any plans of like franchising out into a big school type thing, but who knows? Maybe it'll be so much fun. I need more kids.
Maybe. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Awesome. So how has being in the All-Stars helped you make this transition as you're going along?
Because I need the accountability and the inspiration and the motivation and the encouragement, because on my own. When I bought the book on my own, I didn't see anything about the challenge. I don't know if I just didn't see it. I didn't do anything with it. So now it's like, oh, I got to get in the group. Oh, I got to get in the group.
Yeah.
So I have never been in a group like that group. Never. I like anywhere, like neighborhood, church, friends, nothing. I've never been in a group like the All-Star group ever. So I don't ever want to leave ever.
Yeah, it is probably the most positive, at least on social media for sure, the most positive group I've ever seen. I don't think I've ever seen anything negative from anyone, it's great. It's such a nice space. It's like a welcoming space to be in. And the accountability I love too, because, you have all these women who are doing the same thing, and then you have them to be accountable too, especially if once they get invested, once you start posting and people start knowing you, they get invested in what you're doing, and to be able to give them updates, it's like, yeah, I'm so excited. You guys are my people. Let me share this new thing that's happening. And then they can share in your excitement, and it just motivates you to keep going.
Yeah, totally. That works.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. And what advice would you give to any other women who are burnout with their daycare or working a whole bunch of jobs and just looking to find some stability? What would you say to them?
They definitely need to join the 7-day challenge
Mm-hmm.
to see what it's all about. And if it is the right path for your life, jump in and get invested in the All-Star group, because that is where you can cry, you can share your fears, you can share your excitement, you can everything. Like, you can share it all, and you're not alone, because doing it on your own is hard.
It's really hard.
It's really hard. So like, if it is the right path for your life, then that's where you need to be. Don't try to do it on your own. Jump into the All-Stars and let's all link arms and walk this walk together.
Yes. Love that. Love that. Well, I'm excited for you, and I'm excited for this new journey and for you to get into the preschool mindset, because I know it's definitely a mindset switch. How is your day? How are you going to ensure that your day is different than with the daycare? I know there's a lot of free play with daycare, but I mean, there's also free play with, in the preschool, especially if you're doing all day. So how are you going to just make sure things are different and you don't slide back into the daycare mindset?
Well, yeah, that's the question I've been asking myself. And to be perfectly honest with you, at 5:00 in the morning, I'm watching all kinds of YouTube videos from the All-Stars, but also other people who do preschool with specifically 2 and 3-year-olds. And like, how do you set up your centers? How do you rotate your kids? Because my thought is, if I start watching them since now and keep watching them all the way till August, I will have changed my mindset. It's not an overnight process.
Yeah, definitely.
I've done daycare 3 different times throughout my life as I was raising my kids and stuff. And so I'm already stuck in a mindset, and old dogs take longer to retrain than new dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
Yeah.
so I've been kind of watching all of these things, trying to change my mindset since now, so that when I get there, I can say, nope, here's our schedule. And I honestly use a lot of reminders with Alexa. Oh, it's circle time. Oh, it's snack time. Oh, it's cleanup time. So because my kids love Alexa, so we use that to our benefit, because when it says, hey, it's time to clean up and get ready for lunch, and then it starts playing a song.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, then they're like, hey, we have to clean up. Come on, we have to clean up. It's lunchtime. It's lunchtime. So that's been really beneficial to me, that I've never asked. So I use that to my advantage also. But then having the schedule on the board or on the wall is also helpful, because you're right. It's very easy to say, oh my gosh, I'm tired. Just go play. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
Remember though, their job is play too. So don't go too far on the other side where you're like, no, we have to learn right now. And because it can get frustrating when you're trying to teach a bunch of 2-year-olds their alphabet.
Exactly. And I'm like, okay, so I have also been just trying to change out the types of toys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
in fact, I have to go pick up a mud kitchen this afternoon.
Ooh, mud kitchens are great. I want a mud kitchen so bad.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
found one on Facebook Marketplace.
Nice.
So, and she's not too far from me. So after this, I'm going to go pick up my mud kitchen because I just had somebody kind of restructure my backyard so that there is a child area and an adult area so that my flowers can live and they can have, you can have a sandbox, which I need to build, a mud kitchen, a swing, a teeter-totter, and just trying to like, here's our home center with the babies and the kitchen and a table, and you can play restaurant, and just trying to kind of set it up where it's still for play, but it's a little bit more structured as far as this side of the room is for puzzles and this side of the room is for dress up and that kind of stuff. So I am trying to find that balance, like you said, because I'm like, oh no, they're 2 and 3 years old. You cannot.
It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to find that. I mean, I came from 1st and 2nd grade where it's just like academics. And my teacher, I'm grateful for my teacher that I have in here now because she reminds me, especially at the beginning of the year when I'm like, oh, okay, we got to push and she's like, they're three. It's okay. They're going to get there, you know, cause I'm like, it's hard to get out of that mindset, but just finding, like, I try when I buy new toys, I try and get like, hey, what's the purpose for this toy? You know, is it fine motor? Okay. If it's, there's fine motor and there's alphabet on it. So it's matching and letter identification and fine motor, you know, trying to get toys that will fit all those boxes, you know, or, you know, instead of just like, oh, here's a whatever, like just try and purposely find the toys and purposely set them up in the room to be the most, so they'll utilize, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. I have a lot of stuff for my younger ones that are, like the really big plastic tongs and then the pom-poms and they go in like the egg crate. Like, I have a lot of that kind of stuff, and putting the little pom-poms through the holes of Parmesan cheese containers and then unscrewing it to dump them out, like all of those kinds of things, and the lacing beads. So we play all day, but now we can talk about the colors of the pom-poms while you're playing, and the colors of the lacing beads while you're playing,
or making patterns while you're lacing them. You know,
it's they're all educational somehow, you know?
Yeah,
but
totally.
All toys.
Yeah. I mean, then you're already on it. You already got it.
Yeah. And I can tell you that right now is prime time to go to thrift stores, because with the pandemic and everybody was homeschooling, I am finding so much stuff at the thrift stores.
Yes. That's where I get everything.
Yes.
Yep. I never buy full price. Yep. We have this big, huge sale that happens like 3 times a year. It's called As We Grow, and it's like a pop-up sale, and it's in an old Kmart, and everyone brings their stuff, and it's all for kids. And it's just like, I bring my teacher every time, and we just go like ham. Like we get so much stuff. I refuse to buy stuff full price now. I'm like, no, I'll find it. I'll find it on Marketplace. I'll find it at a thrift shop. Don't worry. And then I just go on the hunt, and I'm like, it's almost like a game for me now.
It is. Every Saturday, that's my game. And luckily my son likes to do it too. And so it kind of works for us. Like I got this, let me see. I got one of those with the alphabets with
that's nice.
With the cards that are missing a letter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I paid like $5 for that. And that's from like Lakeshore.
Yeah. When you find Lakeshore stuff, it's like hitting the jackpot.
Yes, totally.
Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for talking to me. I really enjoyed this, and I can't wait to hear, maybe next year we could check in and see how it's going and see how you've grown and see how it's going.
Yes, that would be awesome.
All right. Thank you so much. You have a great weekend and good luck.
You too. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you'd like to have a success story just like that one, I invite you to join our Preschool All-Stars. It's my exclusive membership community where you'll get mentorship from me with weekly Q&A lives, support and guidance, and friendship from hundreds of women on the exact same journey as you, starting, running, and growing their preschools. and my exclusive access to Preschool University, every training and done-for-you file that you'll need for every milestone on your journey to help you start, run, and grow your preschool. We've all been there, and we've got the exact same steps that you need to go through, but we do it all very quickly so that you don't have to waste time or money doing the wrong things at the wrong time. We'd love for you to join our Preschool All-Stars membership. Just go to preschoolallstars.com or click the link in the description to immediately jump into Preschool All-Stars. Again, go to preschoolallstars.com and we'll see you there.